Hello. I said I wouldn't make more of these, but I just had to make one on this matchup. Houston got a big buff after signing Merritt from O2 Blast, but is it enough for them to topple the Shock? Let's find out. Let's start off with the DPS. On Houston's side, we have Merritt, Dante, and Pelican, while the Shock are fielding Proper, Kilo, and Sam. These are both really correct DPS lineups. Shock have all of the most hyped players from their respective regions. Proper and Kilo are two of the most hyped up rookies in ages, and Sam is coming off the back of a dominant North American contenders run. Merritt helped to win contenders alongside Proper and Kilo, whereas Pelican is coming off of a grand finals appearance where he won Rookie of the Year in dominant fashion and was in the top 5 for All-Stars, while Dante was still pounding on Houston all year. Who edges it out? It's very close. For their respective matchups, I'll start with Pelican versus Proper. These guys were a duo in 2020 and were dominant, but even as a duo, Proper was clearly the better player. It wasn't a hard carry, but Proper was usually the one securing fights and getting kills, while Pelican was definitely top tier. He had most of its heroes, currently Echo and Tracer, taken by Proper and had to flex around him. However, Pelican is more proven, being top 5 in his role and hard carrying Atlanta at times. He was insane, but I might give the edge to Proper here. I know it sounds absurd, as we haven't even seen Proper against a lot of the greats, but trust me, he is going to be insane, especially under Krusty. Kilo versus Merritt is an interesting one. Merritt and Kilo competed for playtime on the same team, and Merritt generally played over him, mostly due to his ability to flex onto the Sombra, who was very meta in contenders at the time. But since he started over Kilo, he must be better, right? Well, in reality, they have different strengths and weaknesses. Kilo has much higher peaks on the hard hit scan. He has hard carry potential and is much younger than Merritt, who has been playing in the scene for years, but Merritt brings consistency and flexibility onto the Sombra. Both have strengths and weaknesses, so I'm ultimately going to make them equal. Then the Dante versus Sam matchup. This is the only somewhat clear one, though I wouldn't say it's that big of a difference. Though I have to go with Dante. He simply has the veteran experience and proof that he can do well in the league, though hot take, I feel he's a bit overrated off the Tracer and Sombra. Sam could very well even be better than him on the pure projectiles. Overall, despite all I've been talking the Outlaws up, I'm going to have to give the DPS line to the Shock. While the talent is about equal, with Proper better than Pelican, Kilo and Merritt equal, and Dante clearly better than Sam, I feel like Shock are more versatile. Proper's a hyperflex that can play both hit scan and projectile to a top tier level, and by flexing around him, the Shock are meta-proof, while Houston's DPS are very specialized. This one goes to the Shock. Next, the tanks. Both teams currently have only one tank, Piggy on Houston and Super on the Shock. This one is pretty clearly in the Shock's favor, in my opinion. Piggy is a great op tank, but honestly he isn't that flexible. He has a great Sigma and a good Zarya, but his Diva isn't anything groundbreaking in my opinion, while Super can play every main tank outside of maybe Ball to a high level. Honestly, his Ball isn't even that bad either, as well as a very good Hog and has shown the ability to pick up new heroes and off tanks quite well. Piggy is very good, and above average off tank for sure, but I have to give this one to the Shock. I'm expecting both teams to pick up another tank though, so this conversation could change. Next to the supports, we have Finn and Violet on the Shock going up against Lostro and Iris on the Rain. This is an interesting one. Violet's coming off of somewhat of a down year, whereas Iris made a name for himself, with jaw-dropping performances on the Baptiste, and Lastro being probably the best or second best part of the otherwise mediocre Toronto last year. Finn is also an unknown quantity. However, this could be biased, but I have to go with, you guessed it, the Shock. While Astro was extremely good, I don't think he stands up to the cream of the crop at flex support. That could be due to the team around him not being amazing, whereas Violet showed that he is still one of the best flex supports in the game on several occasions, standing up to the likes of Shu and Fielder many times across the regular season. You can't forget that at his peak, he was the best flex support in the history of the game, this past season included. And then Finn is also absurdly correct. He is very flexible and pounds across every flex support. While he isn't as hyped up, he definitely gives me Vile 2T vibes from back in 2019. He is easily the best flex support out of contenders and is going to pound. Overall, I like Iris and Lastro a lot. Lastro was very consistently good across everything, and Iris was a top 5 BAP last year. But Iris is a bit improvement off the BAP, though its BAP and Moira are really good. And Lastro I don't think is groundbreaking, while the Shock have the hottest rookie support on the market, and the greatest flex support in Overwatch history. I just have to give it to them. Finally, the coaching. This goes to the Shock, no context. Krusty and 9K are are reunited, which is really scary. They were the coaching duo for the Shock in Season 2, where they dominated the league for the most part, especially in playoffs. These guys are potentially the best coaching duo in league history, and with them back together, they can bring this young group of rookies to a whole new level. Junkbunk is a phenomenal coach too, but without Krusty, I'm not sure he can organize the team quite as well. The team was a bit inflexible in 2021 as well, especially by the end. I think this is a pretty massive coaching diff, which in my opinion elevates the entirety of Shock pretty heavily. I'm really, really hyped about having 9K back. This goes to the Shock. Overall, I think despite DPS being close and arguably in either direction, though I'd argue it tends towards the Shock, the rest of the positions have a clear advantage for the Shock. So overall, I think the Shock is the better team. Thanks for watching, and remember to like and subscribe for more. I upload almost daily Overwatch League content, and I'm trying to hit 100 subs by Season 5, so any subscription helps greatly. Thanks.